points that we're going to want on our shot line or our target line. Several of them would be pretty obvious. Your grip is on your cue, your bridge is on your cue, and the contact point with the cue ball is the tip of your cue. But there's some other things that aren't quite as obvious. What I want is my kind of the knee and the top of my back foot on that aiming line as well, in that vertical plane. And then the second thing that I want that's harder to tell because you can't see it yourself is your entire stroking arm. So when I'm down in my shot, I want my shoulder, my elbow, my wrist, kind of all on that same vertical plane that my stroke or my aiming line is. So when I get down, hopefully my foot is underneath my cue, my hand is there, my wrist is not cocked in or out, and my elbow is over my cue as opposed to a chicken wing type of thing going out to one side or cocked the other way, and my shoulder should pretty much be over that. So ideally, I'm down here with everything vertical. Now I'll go ahead and I'll show that again from a separate angle. Alright, so we just talked about alignment of the vertical plane of the shot, and you saw me from the side. Now you're going to see me from behind. So if my aiming line is down here, you can see the back of my cue with this little donut. And then I will have my back foot underneath the cue. My back knee is kind of underneath the cue, so when I get down, you'll see that's on my vertical plane. And then I want my entire aiming arm. So once I'm down on my shot, my shoulder should be there, my elbow should be there, my wrist, and I'm not cocked like in or out or twisted with my elbow in or out. So when I drop down on my shot, you'll see my back foot, my back knee, my entire aiming arm hopefully is on that line. Get a nice straight stroke. Alright, for this next section we're going to talk about stance. I've got a line marked here on the floor. That's my target line. The first extreme of stance would be an archery stance, which I'd have my toes on there like I was going to shoot a bow and arrow. And my whole body is pretty much on my aiming line. This, for pool, becomes a little problematic because in order to do it, I need to kind of twist and bend, and there's a lot of things kind of working in my body, and it's not very relaxed, it's not very stable. The second extreme is actually a snooker stance. Snooker tables are 12 feet long and 6 feet wide, so as a result, a lot of times the players end up with both of their hips kind of up against the table, and they're bending over the table, and they twist the other direction. So on the floor, this would be kind of a snooker stance, and I'd have to twist and bend, and once again, I'm putting a lot of stress on my body. It's hard to be repeatable. So what we actually advocate is basically somewhere right about in the middle, or a 45-degree angle with my toes and my aiming line. So if you review the section on alignment of the vertical plane of the shot, my back foot should pretty much be on my aiming line. So you see my foot's there. And then my other foot's here on this 45-degree line. And what this enables me to do is to bend over in a nice, easy fashion. So all I gotta do is bend at my waist, and there's no twisting or anything, so I'm much more relaxed, I'm much more stable. I've got kind of a tripod going with my back foot, my right foot, and my front hand. In my stance, I also want my weight to be a little bit forward. So what I tend to say is that you might have about 10% of your weight on your bridge hand, maybe 50% on your front leg, and then about 40% on the back leg. So when I'm down on my shot, I'm down here, I've got a little pressure on my bridge, and I'm nice and stable, and my arm ends up hanging just under my shoulder. My shoulder is over my aiming line, my cue is on that aiming line, my back foot's on that aiming line, my back knee is kind of pretty much on that aiming line as well, and my entire stroking arm. So to kind of know about those points that are on my aiming line, you can review the alignment of the vertical plane of the shot. But for our stance, once again, kind of want roughly a 45-degree angle to my aiming line, my foot under my cue, and then I can bend forward, and I'm nice and relaxed, nice and stable, and give myself the best chance of executing my shot properly. Alright, the next little section we're going to talk about is kind of addressing the ball. So what we want to do is we want to actually kind of line up our shot, and then we're going to step forward into the shot. So don't be lazy with this. Don't be coming from like over here and step in on the side and just try to get to the right spot. Most of the time you might be a little off. The more you play, the better you can get at it. But if you take that little bit extra time and come behind the shot, line things up, and then step forward into your shot, drop down. It's okay to slide forward a little bit. If you have to slide forward a lot, you probably need to start over. But you can get set up, drop down, set, pause, finish. It's okay to slide it into the shot a little bit. What you want to do is at that set position, remember we want to be about a 1/4 inch away from the ball. So once again, we'll start behind it. We want to step into our shot, drop down. It's okay to slide forward. Set position up close to the ball. Pause, stroke, stay down, hit your finish. And on this section, Melissa, if you do feel like you messed up or something's not right, back away and just start over again. Okay. So please like and subscribe to this video series and go through the videos and work on each individual point and try to give yourself the best stroke that you could possibly have.